Accompanying the bridal banner is the Bridal Brawl Tempest Trials, with discussing all the rewards available. If you hit the maximum 50,000 points, you can earn up to 42 orbs, 11,000 feathers, and 80 sacred coins. This month we have Ephemeral 5 divine codes to earn and 1 dark blessing for Medias. For Sacre3d Seals we have Defense Form and Chill Atk and Defense. Then for our reward unit, you can get Bridal Larum, and you can get a 4-star and 5-star copy. We will talk about her more later on. First up, we have our 2 new Sacre3d Seals. First up is Defense Res Form 3. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants Defense Res plus X to unit during combat. X is equal to 2 times the number of allies within 2 spaces, and you add +1 at the end. This has a max of +7 defense res if you have 3 nearby allies. Forms are our more defensive stat boosters and have higher potential than bonds or stances, but require some good team positioning. This variant is for pure tanking, as you'll only get to use one of your defensive stats in a fight rather than getting extra attack or speed. We do have defensive res bond, bracing stance, and the big shield session if you want defensive res, but defensive res form is a pretty good middle ground for all of these. It works on either phase, it can hit a max of +7, and it's still not bad with 2 nearby allies only. You can slap defensive res form on your save army units if you aren't abusing steady breath, and someone like Fallen Rhea could be a candidate since he is pure defensive res stacking anyway. Personally, I do like the Form Sacre3d Seals, and I have been upgrading most of them to have on hand. It might not be a must upgrade, but it's certainly a fine choice if you have the coins. Next up is Chill Atk and Defense 2. At start of turn, inflict -5 attack and defense on the foe and the enemy team with the highest attack plus defense total through its next action. So another dual chill, this one tailored toward attack and defense. Pretty common that the high defense stacking tank probably has high attack as well, so you'll probably tag them. Chills work every single turn, which is nice, but the dual chills do have some variance in target selection since you are totaling 2 stats. In terms of synergy though, they aren't super common, but we have some weapons that rely on attack and defense debuffs specifically. Most recent is Spring Luthier's carrot tip spear and Spring Henry's carrot tip bow. They are also the Pledgeon bow and axe, which do use defense debuffs. It's not attack and defense menace, but you do set up at least 1 target to chase after for those weapon users. Obviously you don't have a ton of control in this use case, but it's better than nothing. Feel free to upgrade the Sacre3d Seal if you want, since you can pretty much slap chills on anyone. It's not a build defining skill, but it does always do something at the very least.
Well, what do you think? About my dress, I mean. It's cute, right? You get to escort me. Come on, just take my hand.
Our reward unit for this Tempest Trials is Bridal Larum. The dancer themed banner was discontinued last year, so we didn't get a free dancer back then. Larum is here to fill that spot. Since she is a dancer, you literally cannot go wrong with more dancers in your roster, since all they need to do is refresh an ally and they're already valuable. Definitely a nice reward for newer players who don't have a lot of dancers yet, and Bridal Larum is only one of 2 dancers for Binding Blade. If you wanted a dancer for game modes that restrict your team to certain games, well, Binding Blade only had the OG 5-star Larum as an option. Bridal Larum now gives everyone a free FE6 dancer to use if needed. With all that said, let's talk about Larum as a unit. She's a flying lance dancer, so she has some nice mobility to utilize. For stats, Larum has 38 HP, 32 attack, 40 speed, 26 defense, and 31 res. Actually pretty fast, even for a dancer, only tied for 2nd behind the fastest dancer in the game. Larum does have a speed super boon as well, and she has an HP super boon if you want some more HP. 40 base speed is not terrible for some offensive usage, but Larum only does have 32 base attack. That's not completely terrible, but certainly not anything special, especially compared to actual combative units. Still, Larum can get some doubles for herself. Speed also isn't bad for a dancer because it can improve their defensive bulk by only taking 1 hit. Larum has 26 defense, 31 res, which also isn't anything crazy, but it's good enough to take a hit. Maybe not from an archer though. Overall, Bridal Larum isn't too bad, but dancers do have lower BST, so keep that in mind. For her weapon, Larum has the Bridal Sunflower Plus. This inheritable lance has 14 might, and at start of combat, if unit's HP is equal to or greater than 25%, grants +5 attack and defense and bonus to attack and defense during combat equal to the current bonus on unit's attack and defense stats, calculated independently. So, Bridal Sunflower is the attack and defense version of Bridal Cecilia's Bridal Orchid Plus. These are very simple weapons to use, but they do require field buffs. It's like a bonus double effect, but only for attack and defense stats. For Larum, not a bad weapon to have, considering her attack and defense are her lowest stats. The only issue is getting attack and defense field buffs on Larum himself, since she is sort of the support unit. Obviously doable with units like Harmonic Roy or team buffers like Faye, but generally speaking you may not want to use skill slots to self-buff when Larum could be using those slots to boost her allies' power. If you keep Bridal Sunflower, getting those attack and defense field buffs are important. Sadly, Larum's base kit does not help the Sunflower bloom, but focuses on her Dancer support power. Of course, she has Dancer allies. Larum then brings Attack Cantrip 3, which inflicts -7 attack on the nearest foes within 4 spaces after you dance a target. Cantrip B skills are okay, but it's just insanely hard to outvalue things like Wings of Mercy in a lot of scenarios. Attack Cantrip also doesn't improve damage output, so it might have a little less value since if you dance an ally while debuffing the enemy, generally you want that ally to attack the debuffed enemy. You could use it defensively, but the force based debuff emits from the dancer themselves, so you do need to get a little close. Regardless, cantrips are extremely rare, so having one on a heroic rail unit is neat. Speaking of rare, Larum's other skill is Guidance 3. Infantry and armor allies within 2 spaces can move to adjacent spaces of the user. It is a Sacred Seal, but Guidance in the C slot is only on 3 other units in the whole game. All of them are 5 stars. Having it on a heroic rail option is very nice if you want that flexibility, but you're going to need to spend some feathers to get the tier 3. In terms of merging the neutral nature, we'll grant Larum +1 HP, speed, and res. If you want super boons, Larum's going to have HP and speed to choose from for that slight boost. Again, very fast dancer even in a relatively fast class type. We don't have a ton of free dancers, but Larum does have one direct comparison. That would be Dancer Eldigan. Eldigan has some very practical uses because he has a very good base defense. This is important because in Aether Raids, Milla's turn wheel inflicts isolation, which can stop a dancer. It does this through a defense check, and while Milla has high defense herself, Eldigan can compete by stacking flat defense via things like Fortress defense and res, the defense refine on his weapon, and Note, who is a great dark mythic already, boost defense for Dark Blessed allies. You can use merges for even more flat defense, so this makes Eldigan a decent dark defense unit if you wanted a dancer immune to Milla's turn wheel. Dancer Eldigan is stated to be available on the upcoming Hall of Forms lineup according to the data miners, so that gives players a chance to kit him out fully. This doesn't invalidate Larum by any means since this is one specific use case, but Larum doesn't have that type of niche Eldigan fills. Just to compare with some recent non-dancing lance flyers, you can see Larum is 10 BST behind the current other combative units. Our 2D modded Gen 6 options are Karen and Marsha, and both have more attack to work with if you want to actually KO stuff. We don't have a heroic growth lance flyer for this generation yet, but they are such a common class that I wouldn't be surprised to see one soon. If you go back further, you can see that Larum does have great speed even for the lance flyer group. Her attack will lower her damage output, but it's not like Larum is going to be terrible if she needs to fight. Weapons like the Bridal Sunflower can improve her weaknesses. As a dancer, Larum's main goal is to support the team. As a free 5-star, you really don't need to do much if you just need Larum to dance. Attack, Cantrip, and Guidance are fine to keep, but Wings of Mercy is just the go-to dancer B skill for dicey situations. If you stick with Cantrip, you can use one of the dancer buffing Sacred Seals. Blaze Dance, for example, grants +4 attack to the danced ally, so you can inflict debuffs and buff a teammate when dancing. If you aren't expecting Larum to fight, you can slap in Fury 3 just for all-around stats, but Triangle Depth is another option as well if you want to fight red units. You can add more flyer mobility perks like Flyer Formation, Aerobatics, or Flyer Guidance, and these can be Sacred Seals too. You can also use any combination of buffs like Tactics, Drives, Distant or Close Guard, and Larum can use the Flyer Emblem field buffs or in combat buffs. Last, the only issue with Bridal Sunflower is that Larum has no guaranteed attack and defense field buffs for herself. You can solve this with even or odd wave type skills, but attack and defense both buffs Larum with the 2 stats the Sunflower needs. This would be a good opportunity if it was a Sacred Seal, but that's not in the game just yet. Now let's talk about some premium skills. If you still want the Bridal Sunflower with field buffs, you could use Attack and Defense Menace. Technically, it helps your team out while buffing Larum. For flyer specific skills, Larum can use Near Trace when dancing. She can also apply debuffs with Rain C skills, and the 3-space hold skills are good for this purpose. Unfortunately, the only hold skills available are res based currently, which doesn't help Larum herself. In the future though, Near Trace and Hold could provide debuffs for Larum while also having support capabilities. Speaking of support power, if you really want to try, you can stack more res on Larum. 31 base isn't super high nowadays, but if you go all in on res stacking, Larum could run Sabotager Plus if you really want. If you want a support weapon, Karen's Allied Lance basically has joint drive attack and defense, so again, Larum benefits from both of those while also buffing her teammates. There is also New Year's Legion's Wagasa Plus, which is just a chill defense 3 lance, but it is a guaranteed debuff for your field. A weapon that could have given Larum a niche is the It's Curtains Plus. We got a free Hot Springs Roma about a year ago, and this lance grants -2 cooldown immediately. there is a very fun build that utilizes it on the OG Azura with Gale Force. The purpose is to Wings of Mercy in, attack it with your cooldown reduction skills, with your partially charged Gale Force, and then you can dance an ally afterwards while deep in enemy territory. The issue is that as a flyer, Larum has no cooldown skills besides Heavy Blade, and that's not great for a 32 base attack unit. Azura can use Flashing Blade, plus she has the option to use Times Pulse or benefit from Infantry Pulse, a lot more options that Larum just doesn't have. Now if you do want to be more combative, that's fine too. Larum could use Summer Norn's Show Point Lance for slightly easier attack at Demon's buffs. You got things like Unbound Lance, Steadfast Lance, even the Courtly Candle. Sadly, if you want some of the more interesting speed-based weapons, you're going to need to get those seasonal 4-star focus units. Now for skills, Near Trace is still good for Larum, and you can go with a speed-based rain. We got many speed stat boosters like a Titan Speed Catch, Push 4, Swift Sparrow, or Solos. Larum could also run the Flow B skills, but that's a lot of investment for your Dancer. Don't let me stop you though if you do want Larum to brawl it out though. All in all, decent Tempest Trials rewards. Defensive Form is probably my recommended seal to upgrade if you want. As for Bridal Larum, do pick her up. Free dancers never hurt anyone, and again, she's the only Binding Blade dancer unless you have her original form. Larum also has great speed to work with, although she will need some extra attack if you do want a more combat focused unit. In terms of support, flying dancers are great due to their mobility, and access to flying mobility skills opens up different maneuvers for your team. It's a very fun unit type to have around. Larum may be overshadowed by Denso Eldigan, but he is filling that very specific niche. Larum does have a lot more res if you're looking for a more balanced stat spread, and obviously a ton more speed to utilize. Certainly not game breaking at all, but worth having that free 5-star copy around. That's it for this Tempest Trials event. Go get all those rewards and have fun with Bridal Larum. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.